Hello. I'm going to do a lesson now on the Chord Tool in Finale. I'm going to open up a document without libraries, and in case you need to load libraries, I'll show you how to do it. I'm going to add some measures. (23). Since this is a weird document, I'm going to do something here first. Selection tool, left click over here. I got all my measures highlighted. I'm going to go to, I want to do this first. I want to show my page layout icons. Okay, I'm glad I did it. Utilities. I'm going to lock systems. See, I got these locks over here. I like to lock the systems so they don't move around when I don't like them to move around automatically. But I don't like to see those locks. So show, I don't want to show these icons. I just like to show them so I know if they're locked or not locked. And then I'll hide them again. Okay, so chords. First, go to document options. We're going to set up the fonts for our chord symbols. Set font, Arial, bold, 16. I'm just doing the fonts that I use a lot. Oh, let me choose Suffix, set font, Arial, bold, 16. Now I'm going to go to alteration. That's the flat and sharp. Maestro, bold. I'm going to put 23. And I don't mess with the fretboard. I never do that. Guitar fretboards. I mainly write charts for jazz musicians, and I never use that. I'm going to press apply to save those changes. I'm going to press OK now. I don't need that anymore. Now I'm going to press this chord tool right here. Left click over this measure. Capital C, lowercase m, A, J, number 7. I'm going to left click over here. See, this chord suffix is not in the library. Would you like to add it? I'm going to say yes. It looks fine. It's asking me if I want to edit it right here, but I don't need to. I'm just going to leave it like that. See, it's got the font I already set up. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, type the letter, capital letter D, lowercase m, 7. That's what I usually use for minor 7 chord. Left click over here. Yes, it looks fine. Correct fonts. Okay, I'm going to left click here. G, 7. Left click. Yes. Good font. Okay, now I'm going to type C major 7 again over here. Oh, but it's not lining up the way I like it to line up. This is called center align. I like left align over the first beat. So I'll come up here to the chord menu. Since the chord tool is selected, we have the chord menu. And what was I doing? Oh yeah, left align chords. Got to keep in my mind on this lesson. Left align chords. Now it's lining up the way I like it to line up. So try some different chords. D minor 7, parentheses, lowercase b, move that so you can see better, lowercase b, 5, another parentheses. I'm going to left click over here. Oh, see, this one's not in the, I'm going to press yes. Minor 7 flat 5. I can edit it here. I'll go ahead and edit it here. I'm going to press next, and it goes to the 7. That square goes to the 7. Press next. Parentheses is the right size. I'm going to press next again. Now this little square is on that B, so I can set the font for that. I'm going to make it a music font. Select Maestro, bold, and for the size, I'm going to put 23. That's what I like for my sharps and flats. Okay. I'm going to grab that and bring it up a little bit, to the right a little bit. Now I'm going to press next. That little square goes to the 5. I'm going to drag the 5 to the left a little bit. Now I'm going to press next again. That little square goes to that parentheses. I'm going to drag that to the left a little bit. Now I'm going to press OK. And we got it looking like I want it to look. D minor 7 flat 5. So I'll show you something right now. I'm going to right click on this little square, left click here, select. Oh, I haven't loaded any libraries yet. This is just the stuff I've been adding. Can't see that good. Let me make this bigger. Oh, we can see it better now. See, these are just the chords I've been creating because they worked with the font. Okay. That's my library of chord suffixes so far. So I'm going to show you how to add libraries. Come up here to File, Load Library, Chord Suffixes. I'm going to double click. I'm going to double click on this Arial one. I like Arial. And it just loaded the library for me. I'll show you what I mean. I'll right click on this, left click here, make sure you show advanced, come down to Suffix, select. Now this is what I just loaded. Got all these things. So if I type in some of these chords, this is what's going to pop up, some of these suffixes. If I type in one of these chords, it'll show up correctly like that. Cancel. But I'm gonna add a couple more libraries. File, Load Library, Expanded. I like that. A little more symbols for. And File, Load Library. Keep my mind on this. Load Library, and come down here. I like slash chords, Arial. Double click on that. Now we got all that loaded. And I'm going to come up here to the chord menu again. Change chord suffix fonts. Search for all the chord suffix fonts, but replace it with these. That's what I typed in the very beginning under Documents. That's why it popped up this way, but you can change it over here if you want to, set font. But this is what I want. I'm going to press OK. And now I'm going to right click on this chord or any chord. Right click on this chord. Left click here. Suffix. Select. See at the top here it has those ones I created, but it also changed all those libraries, all that bigger font now. Except these music symbols didn't change yet. We have to edit that still when we come to those chords. Okay, cancel. I just wanted to show you how to get those all loaded in bigger fonts. Let's try, I'm going to left click here. Let's try G7, lowercase b, 9, parentheses, left click over here. Now see, this is the font that's in there. Like I showed you, these music fonts haven't been edited yet, so I'm going to right click on this little square, left click here, show advanced, suffix, edit. 7 is good, so I'm going to click next over here. The square goes to that parentheses. I'm going to edit that one. Set font. I like Arial for parentheses. Bold. 16. I'm going to drag it to the left a tiny bit. And I'm going to click next. I'm going to drag all these to the right a little bit, make it easier to work, do our editing. Next, drag that parentheses. Now I'm going to go to previous, and previous again, it takes me back to the flat symbol, that little square. Now I can edit that. Set font, Maestro, bold 23. Okay, yeah, that's how I like it. 9 looks fine. Now this parentheses, let's set this font. I think I went too fast there. Let me go back and show you what I was doing. I'm going to press previous. See, I just finished editing that flat symbol. Now I press next, and the square goes to the number 9, but that looks okay. I press next, square goes to the parentheses. So since it's on the parentheses, now I can set the font for that. Set font. I like Arial, bold. Oh, I can just press 16 here. Yeah, I could squeeze it in a little bit more. Drag it to the left a little bit. Oh, that's fine for now. Or it looks a little high, that parentheses. Drag it down a little bit. Okay. Okay. See, now it looks like the way I just edited it. And so that's the way the suffix is in the library now. So every time I type a 7 flat 9 chord in the future, it's going to come up this way. I'll show you right now. Click over here. I'll do F#7. Get that out of the way. Do the parentheses. Left click and see it came up the correct way. Like I created that suffix. I edited it that way, so now it's going to come up that way every time. It doesn't matter what your first symbol is. See how that 7 might be a little too close to the sharp symbol? You can edit that. I'm going to right click here, left click here. Make sure you show advanced up here. Suffix, edit. Oh, I have to drag everything to the right now if I want to do that. I'll try just a couple, tiny bit. Next. I'll just try these little minute things that might help a tiny bit. Okay. That actually helped a tiny bit. And, but, see, it also put a little bit of space between this G and a 7 because the suffix starts with a 7. So the spacing is a little bit to the right, just so you understand. If you come back and edit this chord and try to put the 7 closer to the 7, then it's going to make this 7 closer to the F sharp again. So it's just something you have to understand. You can't make it, that's one little thing you can't do. If you're using this suffix, it's always going to be like that. Okay, so now I'll show you, I'm going to get my chord tool, click over here. Let's do C7 flat 9. Let's left click. See, this one's not in the library. The one with the parentheses is in the library. Do I want to add it? Edit it? Add it to the library? I'll say yes for now. So I'm going to press next and set the font for that little B. Set font. I'll do Maestro, bold, and I'll do 23. Whoops, I didn't select Maestro over here. There we go. Bold, 23. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Keep them tight as possible. Press next. Bring this over to the left. And, oh, need to bring that up some. Match the 7. Press OK. There, I got my flat 9 how I want it. If I want one without parentheses, and that's with parentheses. If you're trying to squeeze in measures, I mean a lot of chords in one measure, you might have to use it without parentheses. And you also might have to reduce the size of this, you know, up here under chord, change chords up, make it a little smaller font, and that'll help squeeze it in better if you need to fit a lot of chords in one measure. I'll show you how to do a symbol for a C major 7, that little triangle. Here, let's do F. Now I'm going to press the Alt key, A-L-T, hold that key down, press 0, 1, 7, 7 on the keyboard. Now I'll let go of the Alt key. Now I'm going to press the number 7. Now I'm going to left click over here so we can see. Yeah, this is the way the suffix looks now in the library, so I'm going to edit this. See how that 7 is a little high? I'm going to bring that 7 down, and I'm going to make the triangle better too. So right click on this, left click here. Make sure you show advanced. Come down here to suffix and edit. I'm going to go to the, I'm going to click next and go to the 7 first, just because I want to get the height down a little bit. Now I'm going to go back to the chord symbol previous. I'm going to set the font. For that symbol, I think I like, let's try 31. Yeah, that's plenty big. Bring it up a tiny bit. I'm going to bring it to the right a tiny bit because that'll help with your, if you have a flat or a sharp just before the symbol, then you'll have more room. Now I'm going to press next and bring that 7 over to the right a tiny bit. Okay, let's try this. Okay, okay. That's what it looks like. Looks like a little too much space there, but let's add a, let's try F sharp major 7 right here. F sharp, Alt, A-L-T, hold that down, 0, 1, 7, 7. Let go of the Alt key. Now I'm going to press 7 again. Left click over here. Yeah, see, it looks a little too much space here, but right here is perfect because of that sharp. I'll leave it like that, or you can bring it to the left a tiny bit if you want over here. So that shows you we have this symbol saved in the correct way I like it now in the library. Now I'll show you another symbol, the minor 7 flat 5. Left click over here. E. I'm going to press the Alt key, A-L-T, 0, 1, 9, 1. Let go of the Alt key. Now I'm going to press 7. Left click over here. This one's not in the library. I'm going to say yes and edit this. I'm going to make that upside down question mark. I'm going to set the font to Maestro. Now it's a music font. Bold. That's going to be a half diminished symbol. From my experience, I'm going to make that font a 33. Okay. Yeah, now I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to take it to the right a little bit. I always do that with these symbols in case I have a sharp or flat that I have to worry about later. I can bring that up a tiny bit more. Now I'm going to click next. Now I'm going to move the 7 over to the right a little bit. Press OK. There we go. Now every time I try to do the symbol, it's going to come up looking the way I want it to look. I might have put a little too much space there, but you can edit that any way you like. Another symbol I could show you is the diminished. You can do C, diminished 7 like this. I'm going to use my tab key, go to the next measure. Now here's with the symbol for C diminished. C, lowercase o, number 7. I'm going to left click over here. I'm going to edit that. Left click here. Make sure you show advanced. Suffix. Edit. I'm going to set the font for that lowercase o. Set the font. Maestro, bold. I think I like 34 for that one. Let's see. Try that one. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to drag it up and to the right a little bit because, you know, I'm always thinking of my flats and sharps. That might pop up later. Okay. I'm going to click next over here. So the square goes to the 7. Pull the 7 to the right a little bit. And let's try that. Okay. Oh, I might be making too much space, but okay. Okay, so that's how you make a diminished symbol and edit it. This lesson is really kind of advanced for the person that wants, I think did I already say that, is for the person that makes it look exactly how they want it to look. You could use the symbols in your library, how they pop up, but this is the way I usually do it for the charts I do it. And sometimes the people I write for, they definitely want it to look this way. I haven't done a slash chord. I'm going to left click here. Just type F minor 7. I'm going to underscore key 7. Not 7. I'm going to do B flat. I'm going to left click over here. Yeah, that came up correct. That's a F minor 7 with B flat in the bass. That one's coming out correct. Oh, I'll show you a 6-9 now. I'll click over here. Let's do A. Type 6-9. I'm going to left click. That's the way the suffix is in the library right now, so I'll edit it if you want to make it different. Right click here. Left click here. Make sure show advanced is showing. Suffix. Edit. So I'm going to bring the 6 down. Maybe right there. And I'm going to make this font just a tiny bit smaller. I'm going to put 15. 1.5. Okay. Now I'm going to click next. The square goes to the 9. I'll drag that 9 above the 6. And I'm going to set the font on the 9 to a 15. 1.5. Okay. 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 See, that's how some people like it. The 6, 9 like that. So I need to show you. I'm going to show you about this arrows right now. Click, see this, whatever stuff you're clicking on, these arrows will follow you. If I go up, it moves all the chords up. If I go down with that leftmost arrow, bring it down here, all the arrows go down. All the chords go down. Bring that back up a little bit. Now what? I'm going to click on this staff. Now watch what happens when I go to this third arrow and I go up. See, the chords only on this staff went up. If I go down, maybe I have to go down below for some reason. See, only on this staff is affected. I'll bring it back up. And it'll stay that way as long as you save it. Oh, another way to move your chords is to grab these little squares. Did you see how I had to move the score sometimes? That helps to, so you can grab the square. Yeah, you can move just one down or up. You might have some high notes and you might only want to move that one chord. Now, chord playback. Right now it's enabled, but I always disable this. I don't like how they sound. It's usually terrible voicings. It always is terrible voicings, especially if you're writing jazz music. You don't want to hear those when you're doing the playback. But if you're doing very simple music with only triads, maybe you'll want to keep it to hear, make sure you didn't make a mistake and enter a wrong chord. But in my jazz music, I'm usually writing out voicings for the piano or guitar, or I'm writing out chords with the saxes, a whole sax section. You got the voicings how you like it. You don't want to hear those awful voicings on the chords. I'll show you what I mean a little bit. Press chord, enable chord playback. I'll play it right now. I don't know why that was louder just then, but anyway, see, those are terrible voicings. You don't want to hear that when you're playing back your score. So I always leave that disabled. So there's one thing I can show you now is how to transfer these chords to another chart, to your template or a new chart you're working on, so you don't have to do excuse me. I'm going to pause this and drink some water. Pause. Okay. Oh yeah, I was going to show you how to copy this into another template or another score, so you don't have to do edits in those new scores. So come up here, selection tool, left click, that measure. I'm going to hold down my shift key and click down here. It highlights all these measures. Control shift on the keyboard, left click. See, this pops up. I'm going to deselect all of these because all I'm worried about is chords, not right now. It doesn't really matter on this chart because that's all I do have is chords, but I just want to make sure you understand. If you don't want to copy everything, make sure you just copy your chords. But if I press cancel now, it'll still save what I just did. I'll show you what I mean. Control shift on the keyboard, left click. See, it saved what I just did even though I pressed cancel. I'm not going to copy this right now. I decided not to copy it. I'm going to press Control C, and that copied these chords into my clipboard, my computer clipboard right now. And I'll open up another chart, a template or a new chart I'm going to work on. File, I'm going to open up this right here. I'm going to do scroll view. This will be fine. View, zoom. Okay. Burping from my water now. Okay, so so in this template or new chart, make sure you set up your chords the right fonts first. Document options, fonts, symbol. This is okay. And I'm going to press this chord tool, chord, change sort. Oh, these are all already like same how I had it in the previous chart. I don't have to do anything. But if you need to change it, change it. So that way when you're typing in new chords, it'll match up with your, everything will match up. So I'm going to left click this measure because I have this selection tool selected. Left click here, Control V, and that brings copies or pastes from the clipboard. Got all those chords I was working on the previous chart. Yep, got all those chords. Well, I got to do the on the scroll view. Okay, so after you paste them though, you got to remember to save it now. File, save. Now I'll show you. I'm going to press the chord symbol. I'm going to right click, left click on this. Make sure it's show advanced. I'm always doing this because on your Finale it might pop up like this, but click on show advanced so you get this screen definitely. Now select, and these are libraries I already have loaded, but at the bottom here, these are the new chords I just pasted in. See all these? These are what I was working on the previous chart. Yeah, I got this symbol. That's the 6/9 I changed. Okay. I'm going to cancel that now. I just wanted to show you the library. But, see, I don't need these chords on this chart. I'm going to delete these chords right now. But I'm going to show you how they stay. Since I saved it right now, those suffixes are going to stay in my library. I'll show you what I mean. Highlight this. Go to the last chord right here. Shift. Now I'm going to come to Edit. Clear selected items. I only want to clear out the chords. So I come over here, chords, got that selected, okay. Press OK right there. Now those chords disappeared. But look at this. I'm going to click, here's the chord tool. I'm going to right click on this chord, that square, left click here. Show advanced, suffix select. I'm going to go down to the bottom. See, it still has all those suffixes I pasted in. See the 6/9 there? Oh, there's my half diminished. Yeah, all that saved in, so cancel. So look, if I type in, yep, got that. If I type in A Alt 0191, do a 7 here, left click over here. See, it's got what I worked on the last chart. And so what I do, I'm going to delete that right now. Or I just press the delete key. So what I do is, when I'm working on a new chart, I'll bring up my old chart first. Say I just brought up this chart. I'll do it again. Okay, I just brought up this chart. So I'm going to work on a new chart. File. First thing I do is save it as the new chart. Very funky new chart. That's the title. And I save it. So now what I do is, I showed this in a previous lesson, but I'll show it again in case you skipped some of those previous lessons. So what I do now is I select the measure tool, left click up here, scroll down to the bottom, left click down here, press shift. Yeah, I've got all the measures highlighted now. So I'm going to delete all of this whole chart, and I'm going to add some measures. Add measures. I'll do 32 right now. I'm in scroll view. Let's go to page view. Page view. See, it still has the old. It's got the old title. I need to change the title, and it's got my old score settings. So I have to get rid of all these extra measures if I'm just doing a lead sheet, or that's easier to do. It's better to do in scroll. I've got this optimized now, so scroll view, that shows all the parts of the score. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going off too many tangents, but you get what I mean here. So if I wanted to delete everything except for the first staff, I would go to my staff tool. Yeah, I'll keep the shift key down and just highlight all these and press delete. Did I get them all? I think so. Staff, delete staves. See, now I just have the one staff. Let's go to page view. View. Page view. And I really don't need this over here. Oh, I don't have to show you all that right now. I just wanted to show you some different things. I'm not going to take the time to edit all this right now. See, I could change this title if I want. But that's all I want to show you now using the chord tools. That was kind of advanced, but that's mainly for people who want to make the chords look exactly how they want them to look. I'm going to say have a good day.